Live.
Yes, let me get.
Hello, hello. We are live right now.
Oh,
Hello, everyone.
hello, welcome.
Yep. Welcome to the 85th episode of DevKami, and I am Chileon.
And I'm streaming.
Yeah. Without
And
Tristan over
oh,
today.
yeah, he had something happening,
Yeah.
but don't worry about that. He will come. He's fine.
Yeah. He's fine.
What
Don't
else?
worry.
Yes. So let's start with events, then we go to our tech news. Will be
Yeah. I'm gonna
interesting.
just share the screen. Not much going on. So
The
this.
whole. Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna share the link. Copy it.
So the only thing that happening is okay. You can see our event at devkami.com/meetups.
Yeah.
Then the only event that is worth going, in my opinion, is KLJS.
LGS. What does SE mean?
Uh,
Software engineering.
I don't know. Is it second edition? I don't think it's like what has two edition already. Seriously,
Oh,
I remember the
no
first.
definitive. As you can
Yeah.
see, we actually have a automatically it's internal for the it's reserved, but it's
Hmm.
actually means that this was our regular schedule. So I've been
Yes.
neglecting Golang meetup for past few months thanks to the
Yes.
MCO legally
Uh,
neglecting them.
it's
So
not too bad because I've been neglecting Python meetup for 3 years, a year plus, I believe. So yes, there's that. So since our event is pretty clear, so you want to check out our web is the NetCat.js. Go to our page. The guys will update there. So
yep,
that's it. Let's start with our news. So the
yep,
first interesting news on my list is okay. So I remember Superbase last week.
yep.
They released a new article on Dev community, Dev tool for demo. So you can have a demo now. I will see how the whole thing works now. So do we have a link? Let me share the link.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for the link. Sorry,
La, la, la.
I've been
Don't worry about
flooding
that.
the channel.
Sure. Huh?
Okay. So this is the link.
Yep.
Check it out.
Yes.
And I forgot my regular hello world.
Oh yeah. Do we have that? We
Yep,
have
I
that.
shared it to the chat.
Yes. Then
And
another
what
thing.
else?
We got quite a few interesting ones actually. Let's see. Android Studio 4.0 is out.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Okay. I actually tried out the Flutter integration. So
Yeah.
I've actually pretty enjoyed the the experience so far compared
Yeah.
to coming from native development and React Native. So, and I've been spending the whole day updating a React Native app. So yeah, it's definitely something definitely okay for me. Flutter.
Flutter versus native.
Uh, Not so much difference. The some of the terminology and some of the way you do programming in Flutter is pretty similar, pretty close to the native
Okay.
one. So it also means that it's not as straightforward. I think to onboard React Native is still faster, but
Mhm.
I I like the whole experience that Flutter give me, like the Android Studio, everything was really
Cool.
nice. More
Flutter
matured than
is
I
what?
thought.
Interesting.
1.7, but it's not something I would use for work yet, but um, definitely I'm gonna still gonna build a few more mini apps to really test it out. Then then I'll be comfortable with using it for production.
Right. Then actually we do miss an event. Shopee Coding League.
Yeah, and a
Uh,
ladybird flying around me.
oh damn it! I actually had a macro lens to catch insect. I only barely catch a few bees. Ladybird is the reason, and I lost. I don't know where the hell is Ladybird. You might have some flower nearby. Let's
I know.
focus. Okay, so
Let's not focus. Like I'm staying at the 30th floor. I
oh,
don't know
that
how
explains.
ladybird fly. I mean, I heard how they flew up so high. I don't know from the
I suspect
draft,
there
I
is
guess.
flowers. Yeah, possible. The next one is actually the Shopee had a code league open for software
Yeah,
developers.
very
Uh,
interesting. If you're not
yes,
into hackathon, also they offer training, right?
yes, correct. It's interesting in a way that it's happening next week actually, 8th of June.
Yeah, it's a two
It's
month
a
online coding challenge.
yes. It's not a hackathon, but it's mostly algorithm question, uh, big data competitions, and all that. It's open for everyone, not just student, professionals. Welcome to join, and it's open to region to Singapore, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, pretty much the whole Southeast Asia, and the friends of Southeast Asia. So yeah, if you're interested, if that's your thing, join them.
Yep.
And the next
And
one is
it's an
go on.
unfortunate week for some of the Malaysian services. Like some of
Yes,
these vulnerabilities were discovered. IP88
yes,
email API is breached, and it was
yes,
used to phish for credit cards details.
yeah,
And also another one is recently found out by this person of what's his name again? Saihan, Unreal
yeah.
Asia. I'm gonna share the article that he discovered that Cellcom mobile app actually has like vulnerability, pretty
Yep.
bad one.
Yes. Yeah. So essentially, what happened is, even though they use two factor and all that, but the data is sent over with plain text, I believe.
Yeah, and they give you the credentials,
Yes. So
and they don't validate some of your payload as well.
correct. I believe this is
Oh,
fixed, but this is interesting as well.
yeah, they did
Uh,
a emergency patch.
yeah. I should share to the
So,
dev team.
what
Let me.
else? We have the Command and Conquer remaster source code released
Yep.
by
Uh,
EA, a rare move.
yes, but it doesn't. This is mostly the reason for this is mostly okay. It's partially protein, but then to sell it, you require rights, because asset and all that. But this is mostly about modding. Modern day gaming had a very interesting way to do modding. Offer if you look at the credit in your modern games, you'll notice that a number of them have Lua
Yeah,
inside. Nowadays, you mod the game, you can find the Lua access. You can actually mod your game, and game companies are generally open to it. But for traditional game like Red Alert and all that, they actually predate Lua. Okay, it's around the time that Lua out, but Lua as a scripting engine for this game
yeah,
are
because
not as mature.
it's so easy to implement the interpreter for Lua.
Correct, correct. So what happened then is you had the source code. Then the whole idea is that to show you, you will figure out how to write a mod for it. Then you install the mod, overwrite some file, then you get things. So yeah, Command and Conquer source code is out, and I hope to see more interesting mod for it. It'll be very interesting. Uh, what community will come out with it. So, and that's the last interesting thing from that I think interesting. Right? Anything else from you?
Not so much.
Right. And with that said, let's move on
To
to
our today's our final session covering the technology radar. We're not gonna cover
yep,
methods, but we're
yep,
gonna jump to tools today.
yep,
So let's do this.
yeah,
So ADAPT Cypress definitely E2E
yep.
tests for basically anything that runs on the browser.
Yep.
Definitely,
Cypress is on the list.
I would like to try it out. I'm not using it right now,
Yep.
so
Uh,
we will still use on the select like old school Selenium, but let me.
Uh,
I need to evaluate it.
yes. Unfortunately, Selenium is very very people that use Selenium kind of adapt to it because they actually have tools to record their
Yeah.
testing because the way QA done in a very traditional way is it's an
From the
end
look of
user
it,
testing.
Cypress actually has it as well.
Yeah. So and also it's extremely programmable,
I don't
unlike
know.
Selenium.
I haven't
Selenium
tried it,
program.
but
Yeah.
Malcolm just did a session over it last night. I should
Yeah.
actually watch it.
Yeah. So the next one is Figma.
No, I need to share my complaints about Selenium.
Oh, okay.
The
What happened with Selenium?
the
It's
if you're
fat.
gonna, it's very fat.
Yes, it's fat.
It's
That's
very slow,
yes.
and it can fail. Especially if you run it in an automated setting. For me, at least, I try to run it
Yeah.
as a class, at least a cluster,
Yeah.
as it it fails randomly.
Yes.
So let's go to the
Yes.
next one. Enough chit
No,
chat.
and it's actually a very real problem with Selenium. So visual people looking for alternative, but traditional organization though are not looking at separate as Selenium is still the tool they use. Lah. So the next one is Figma. The only thing I know about Figma is that my designer friend use it.
So it's like a wireframe thing.
Yes, but I do not. It's wireframe and more. It's actually more than what's the old Figma wireframing tools again? Do you remember?
One of the Adobe one,
Oh,
XD.
it's not Adobe one. Oh, okay. Our
We're
team use
using
XD.
we use XD
Yeah.
because I have no exposure about these two, and the designer is familiar with XD. So
Okay. But the local engineers, my designer community members tend to move toward Figma now.
really, okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the hip tools lah.
okay. I'm gonna share
There
that
may
link
be
to the.
pay, it
Sorry,
may
please.
be most most people will still use XD, of course, but Figma is beginning to be popular among the designer community here. So it's interesting.
Right, I'm gonna check it out. So
Yep,
these are the two that are categorized under adapt. So do you
yep.
agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
modern enough and all that. Yes, the short answer is yes.
Okay, let's go to the
The-
next one. Trial. We got a few one, quite a few
yep.
one for trial. Dojo, which is
Don't know what is
about
that.
Docker and container. It's definitely not the JavaScript framework that we knew.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, Dojo one was one of the big JavaScript framework back in the days, right? Right.
Yes.
So
It's one of those dead one, but this is different. Why this though?
built. What is this for?
Because my concern is Docker is not the hardest thing to use around. It's generally not the hardest thing to use around the compose, at least to me. So I don't know the reason behind this. So you need to sell. Somebody had to sell it to me, right?
I think it's just it's a controlled environment for development and testing. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Uh, I've been probably it's easier to use. I've been using two steps and a lot of these things to like. I'm mainly a Golang developer,
Yeah.
fortunately. So, um, I actually normally use tools like multi-stage to
Right.
build my Docker image. And I will actually don't build my own Docker image. Actually, we none of us in production. None of us has a rights to push the Docker
Yeah.
registry beside the build machine, which is Jenkins.
Yeah.
So I think this is something like you if you find VM too heavy, like something I think it's something like like what's the name is Vagrant, like what people use with
Vagrant.
Vagrant. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Vagrant was it's still awesome. It's based on VM, and this
Yeah.
is based on container. So check it out. Not so suitable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit
So the next one
repetitive.
is DVC.
What is
DVC, data versioning for data. No, version system control system for data.
Okay. How does it
Uh,
work?
I don't know, but the use case is interesting because
Does it work for?
I do.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
maybe have to check it out. No, I don't know
yeah.
how it exactly works.
So I never used this before, but the requirement for this. Sorry,
Sorry.
sorry. And
That's
the
okay.
virus has crossed online. Okay. So version control system for data is interesting because not all data are using CSV. That's the first one, and you do not often, and even with CSV you can't compare data easily, which is why if you use a JSON, for example, on your version control, you try to find diff between data, it get a bit weird. So the demand for a version control tool for data is there, and in fact it's very useful simply because uh, Git are not 100% match for data work.
Yeah.
In fact, if you, I have a lot of database stuff.
Yes,
I
but
compare data with JSON and all that.
Git actually
Go on.
works with raw data. So if you have a
Yes.
big row, I mean you have one row. I mean consider one row, but it's a really big one row file,
Yes.
then you're miserable with Git. It's just considered as one row under Git.
Yes. So imagine, and often when you have like, some of those Excel file that you export, you got like 20 columns, and only one column change previously, and no, it's only one cell change, and you export it. Same thing. There's a problem with using Git and the whatnot. Solving the traditional version control for data versioning. Using this kind of tools, you will browse the changes more easily,
Yeah. It
and
looks like you're
yet
gonna
you get all
support
that.
all sort of data file, not just
Yes,
HTML.
yes, and more importantly, it doesn't. Git works locally on a file system level, local file system level.
Yeah.
If you let's say often you have big enough data set in 100, even 20 megabytes or so, which is actually very small, or something up to hundreds, put on Git, it will kill you. But you need this kind of new tools for that, and ideally those data should be on a S3 and whatever data store, not on the file system. So yeah, I find this kind of tools very interesting.
Okay. So you think this is a good one?
I think the use case is there. However, these particular tools I do not know yet
Okay.
because I work with data before I get it.
So the next one is experimental tracking tools for machine learning,
Uh, this
such
one I
as
know the theory.
MLflow, Comet, and Neptune.
Yeah, I know the theory, but I do not know the practice. The theory goes this way: uh, your machine learning system is actually very fragile. It's actually very fragile. You can have anybody that go through a machine learning tutorial will occasionally see that nobody get the same data training level 100 all
Yep.
the time. Sometimes one would do it very well. You need this kind of thing to know that okay, something wrong with current training, you need to roll back and redo and whatnot. So it's simply because machine learning model is very fragile. It goes to that.
I'll stop the cam a bit. I need to make my hair. It's
Yes.
making very itchy.
But we need to. So the next one is GAUS. What is GAUS? Provisioning testing. Interesting. I never. What does that mean?
Okay, it's not any better. So
Yeah.
GAUS provisioning testing TTD in containers.
Okay. What does it mean?
Server quick. Oh, actually, this might be something I would like to do.
Okay.
It's
Why?
no. Wait. Let me server spec for validating. Ah, not something. It's actually. Let's look at example. You check. I think it's actually to check the spec of the container.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, okay, makes
Feels
sense
very
in a
DSL for
way.
me. I
Yeah.
think it.
Uh,
I think it has its own. Oh, server spec. Okay, so it's actually based on this. For whom, unfortunately, we don't have Tristan here. It's actually a Ruby tool. So
Yes.
it's so this is a server spec. So it actually go in and test your container before you deploy it to the production, which is good actually.
Yeah.
It's something we want to always wanting to streamline properly at work is that we would like to test out the container that we built before we deploy it.
Yes. Actually, a more important one is you don't get to build your container all the time.
Yeah.
So you can at least to make sure that whoever that builds it at the end had the same spec as yours, so that you know
Yeah.
that things will
Yeah.
work properly.
We actually try to control it using reproducible build. Means we do a
Yeah.
fresh build every single time in an isolated environment.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that I don't know, it's certain things happen. Like as much as possible, we want to control. We want to make this thing constant as much as possible, so that we can easily rule this out during like any sort of a when we debug or when we found out some runners. When we want to make sure, yeah, we have to control it. So let's go to the next one, Jaeger. This is something tracing.
Go on.
This is
Hot
Jaeger is
thing.
a distributed state tracing
Yeah.
from Uber, if I remember correctly. Jaeger was from Uber, right? I didn't. Yeah, from Uber. Zipkin was from Twitter, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. For the sake of that, we just do it.
Yeah. The more tools we have, the more confusing. But what
But
does
nowadays, the most important thing is this open telemetry, which we cover.
Mhm.
So tracing is when you have microservices that you want to like inspect basically traces, but for microservices. So yeah, that's about it. Go try it out if you encounter issue like you deploy a cluster of services. It's not just on Kubernetes, but on a cluster of microservices. But something like, because you might have let's say on the chain you have a few services that it has to go through before it's served to the end user. So something wrong in between happened, and instead of going like tearing them layer by layer, this is the thing that we're gonna help you to give you visibility.
Yes.
So yep, check it out if you need. It's not free as in resource. It consumes space, and the analysis actually consume a lot of memory and CPU cycles. So.
Which is the
personal experience. So your mileage may vary. I did put it on this disclaimer. Yeah. Do check
it's not
it out.
for everyone, for other things.
Good to learn, actually.
Okay.
Good to learn.
Yeah. Tracing would be one of the big things on my release as well, because it helps when things happen. It's one of those things that is extremely convenient.
K9S.
Never heard of it.
There's something to do with Kubernetes. I
So
think it's
what's the?
Oh, it's a higher level. I think because Kubernetes is so crazy, it's a higher level one to orchestrate your Kubernetes. So
Right.
Well, yeah, basically it's like the more user-friendly version. If you don't like the web, you want everything on the command line, and it's hard for you to memorize all the commands to interact with Kubernetes. So this look like a high level too. Let's see whether it's right. The infrastructure goods and interactive interface. Yeah. But it does what it seems to me. It does what the web UI is giving you. But most of us, you might be running headless or something. I don't know. So might be suitable for you.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So what's the next?
A tool for running Kubernetes using Docker container nodes. So I think this is for learning.
My internet died apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're cutting off, but you're still around.
But don't worry about it.
Okay.
Long stop. Let's not go
Kind,
there. They didn't sponsor us, by the way. Uh huh.
great.
What is this nowadays?
Kind is for Kubernetes on your own machine.
Why? Okay,
Uh,
home lab,
uh,
but
because
otherwise, why?
Kubernetes, if you want to deploy it from scratch, it's so scary. Sometimes you just want to test it out, or for like just because I can. Sorry
Okay.
for sounding a bit condescending, but it's actually not. uh, it's actually if you want to
Okay.
run it to test, or like, let's say I'm a lazy person. Let's assume that it does what I
Yes.
think it does. Is like you have a spare machine that you want to, because it's still easier to deploy things and to orchestrate things with Kubernetes. I mean, if you're lazy and you just want to deploy
Mm-hmm.
containers, I'm speaking as my own use case. Like Kind seems to be a higher level tool for
Mm-hmm.
you to set it up pretty quickly. Yeah,
Right. Okay. Cool.
yeah. Good to see these tools.
Uh.
I would actually check it out.
Yep.
Then deploy Kubernetes on my
Mm-hmm.
own. Like it, then doing that way. MK certs, cert
Very interesting
user.
for me because I never use it, but it's appealing in a way that how you want to
Go.
set up cert for testing or whatnot.
The thing if you've written
Uh,
it Go, you actually have a static binary that you can run anywhere.
yes, but the main thing is nowadays we write web application, you have
Yeah,
to have a cert to test and all that.
yeah.
So I mean, this is very appealing for me, even though I may not use it now, but
I'm actually using
there is
the
case where I need it.
search generation. I forgot what's the name. I'm using the I forgot about it. I'm using the because I only set it up once for that support cluster, but this is more like for local use cases.
Yes, local use.
For
Don't put
your
this in production, please.
No, you can still
So
use it
this,
to do production one, because I think it's still safer than generating or saying to generate your own. If you don't know what
yes,
you, it's
because
actually very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So these kind of tools are
yes,
there to help you out. I would
yes,
definitely
which
use
is
it.
why it's interesting. It's interesting for me for this particular reason because setup cert is something that I don't know how to do well.
Okay, next one is Mural.
Do not know what is that.
It's like collaborative
Whiteboard.
whiteboards. Yeah, you can like sound sort of the thing that we need on
I mean,
DevKami programs.
when I say whiteboard, I literally mean the physical thing that you draw with your marker.
Yeah, this is
So
no, not something for me. Like I don't like the idea of
yeah,
people moving at the same time. I'm a very synchronous
I
person. Like as it aligned with some of our discussion over the Slack channel for the past week, like when we talk about what was that again? I was talking about I don't like to
so
share memory. You know?
put it this way, I have a mixed feeling for this lah. Okay, I believe that I believe that when we talk one at a time. We take
Yeah.
turn, right? That's me. And my personal experience, I'm damn annoyed when my Jira board, yeah, it's not my Jira board, the Jira board had to be refreshed because multiple people had been moving the card at the same time.
That I don't like that is that another thing is uh I never really like ad hoc. This I mean ad hoc discussion is fine, but it should be like meant for ad hoc. But if it's something that like
Yeah.
for documentation, like tickets and everything, I think these things should
Yes.
be taught. Have more like you is you. I mean you don't just put it there. Oh, but then wonder whether you prefer this to be here or there or not. But I more
Yes.
like there will be an outline. I'm gonna like this is my outline. Do you agree? And like what's the problem with that? I prefer that kind of more like
Yes.
actor model based kind of communication where it goes through and not everybody moving at the same time.
Yes.
Race condition might happen.
Yes. And the real world thing called race condition is called interruption, talking
Okay,
over,
let's
and the
let's go over the next one. So
yes.
OPA, not the expense OPA. Overall
Remember
policy
the
agent.
can't. Sorry.
What is that?
What does this do? Cloud policy. Was it cloud
Cloud
policy?
policy.
Okay, when I mean cloud policy, I mean the IT policy for the cloud services. Who can use what? Who can access what? What?
Oh,
Whether you can install from this. So, for example, in my current workplace, we have a policy where we can only use certain type of image that's security proven because we work with financial service and all that. So so we have a policy of where things can be installed from where, right? Uh, so this is interesting for me, except I'm not in ops anymore. I mean, pass it to ops guys and let me figure out. But less not many people face this issue necessarily.
yeah.
It will, but
Very
in a
interesting.
financial, yes,
Very interesting. It's actually something that's aligned with my line of work. Like, but I'm gonna check it out. I need to
yes,
evaluate it first because it's
yes,
actually you just need to like for this case is that you just need basic identity management.
yep,
Then this is like your DSL for the ACL.
yes.
But
Uh,
on the UI side interaction, you still have to put all these things.
Correct. Even if once you work for some of the traditional organizations like financial services, government agencies, sometime, etc., it's something they have to think about. And doing it by hand will kill you.
Yeah. Yep.
Next
And
one.
actually, for all the projects, they have different requirements. Good luck. Have fun.
Yes. Yep.
So optimal workshop. What is this? Demands data collect UX research,
Uh,
validate
interesting.
prototypes.
Interesting
Oh,
because I think we don't have. I do not know what tools people use nowadays.
yeah.
Uh, it's for sometimes you do A/B testing, then you have to collect and all that. Then you have to do user workshop. The
Oh,
user
okay.
workshop is where you talk to the end user to say, okay, is this what you want and all that.
So
In my go on.
is this something like you use it on an interest group, something like that, where
Uh,
you have a
I I, bel I believe this works as a virtual interest group.
yeah, I think similar to that. Uh, a virtual solution for the traditional thing, no? I mean, workflow. Uh,
So in my previous workplace, it's a mess doing this. Telling them, do you like this, you like this, and all that.
yeah,
I managed
yeah.
to
The
get
problem
it
is
done, but
asking question is you are projecting your priorities to the
opinion.
yeah
Yeah.
opinion.
Uh, Unfortunately, at that time, because it's so late in the project, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I have to do that anyway. But it turns out
So
that I only talk to the management. Long story, let's not go there.
okay, let's
Let's
go
move.
through quickly.
Yep.
Phrase is we have a choice of many
Translation.
translation.
Uh,
Translate. Okay.
how many how many do you need to work? Because I remember that they recommend this another one at another
Yeah,
place.
and I've been using Transifex for so many
Yes.
years for some of the open source
Uh,
project.
yes. One of the senior project guys are using Transifex. Not necessarily Transifex, but she used Transifex to help other projects.
Yeah.
So okay, so why
So
I do not know, but
Scouts.
so
Let's go. Next one, Scout Suite.
Scott
Security
Sweet.
post.
Go on.
Yeah, yeah. You. I don't know what this is. I mean,
Security
it's cloud.
testing, security auditing. Uh,
Okay.
we have to do it because we work in financial service, but this actually will tell you your problem on the AWS front. With the use of the AWS front. Very interesting in the way that it's something that we never thought of lah. You need to because sometimes we have a project you need certain level of security.
Very
Uh,
interesting.
yes. There is proprietary product for this. It's your call. for which is which, but even
More
the
general, but this
security I
one
didn't
seems to
install.
be like for seems to be like for this supported cloud services, right?
Correct. Because if you do it by hand, it will drive people nuts.
It's crazy.
So this is something that can automate across cloud. Because when you use cloud, you tend to have multiple servers and all that. This helps.
Yep. So seems to be pretty good. Like, there's no harm using it. Just try it out.
Yeah, correct. There's no harm actually.
There's no harm. This is like just like cherry at the
You
top
know,
for you.
so it go back to one of our team for the past few months, even last year, security attack and all that. A lot of us is like security is not the first priority because we use the cloud. It should be secured. And turns out that one of the newest services have sensitive data, even though they don't think so. So there's no harm running Scout Suite and all that to make your life,
Okay.
at least to cover your back.
So let's go. Next one. Virtual regression testing.
Do
I
not
would
know
like
what is
to
that.
Let's have a look at one of them. Backstop. Why do we have virtual? SDSH.
Oh, CSS. Okay, makes sense.
Oh, it's a diffing tool. Okay.
Yeah, visual different.
Yeah, but I think Cypress provides some of this thing also, right?
Yeah, precisely. I'm not sure the real value for this. Well, I suppose that let's say you have something for accessibility, that's helpful, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
You should
let's
try
go next
it,
one.
but I doubt it.
Visual Studio Live Share, of course, try everything that you see with Visual Studio Code. It's so far the one of the best thing happening.
Okay, so what's your opinion on it? I never tried this before.
Live Share. Previously,
Uh-huh.
yes, problem with split brains race condition when I first tried it during
Yeah.
the beta, which I mean to be honest, it was like a year ago. So I
Yeah.
think at least it's there, it's convenient. So if you need it, try it. Especially
Okay.
at this pandemic, we try not to do too much of a physical activity, right, with other
Yeah.
people. So yeah, try it out.
Correct.
No harm.
Yeah.
Just an extension. Let's go next one.
Yeah.
Apache Supersets.
BI tools, visualization. I never used BI tool before, confession time.
I never use BI.
I do some data work before, but I don't work on BI level, which is weird actually.
Looks good
Uh,
from the screenshot.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Try it out anyway. OpenGL, interesting.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I'm gonna bookmark this. I'm gonna try it
Yeah.
out. Afterwards, I'm gonna share it. No, in fact, I'm gonna share it in Bus Corner. This looks good.
Yeah.
This looks like
Yes.
what if I understand, like this is like Kibana but for all the data.
Yes, and this looks like what Tableau promised to do.
Yep.
And also
Tableau
what-
sucks. Sorry.
Yeah, I know a lot of people swears by it lah. A lot of people swears by it.
I think
Then yeah,
I'll let you finish first.
a lot of the database companies used to try to sell things for BI purposes, GUI, drag and drop visualization. But then a lot of proprietary and not many people heard of these things. SAS is one of those things, I believe. SAS have a tools for that lah. I do not know what happened. That's what I heard lah. But yeah, then R comes in, get interesting. Yeah, now you got things like Superset lah. I might try it too. I do not know what, but maybe I work on Sina project thing.
Yeah. Easy dashboard.
Maybe.
From the look of it.
Yep. Async API.
Async API is if you're familiar with Swagger or Open API nowadays, is like REST is basically synchronous back and forth.
Yep.
So they came out a new standard called Async API. So this is for async. It basically event-driven API. So check it out. It's a a way for you to document services.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Not this particular, but
I considering to try Open API for Sina project thing because I want to write less
use
code.
it for production because I'm building API for other developers, so it's
Yeah.
it's pretty painful to get it. But the latest version actually pretty nice. It fits most of our use cases.
Okay.
Swagger 2.0 was still I think 2.0 was still called Swagger, but that actually was pretty limited. But the
Mhm.
once it I think 3 was the open API, and it gets so much easier to work with. And maintenance is actually very low. It's just a bit painful to learn about this, but it's because there's a playground around, so
Mhm.
it's actually pretty useful. I would suggest people
Actually,
to use it.
I may actually. So my use case for this is we used to have a people. So Sina project used to have a people API. No, we still have it, but it's kind of under maintained because code
But I
change is
remember,
hard and all that.
Django REST they generate open API automatically, right?
They do that, but the thing is, I want to start. The thing is generate after, which is not as good in a way that some of the API is a bit complicated. I want to simplify it and all that lah. My only problem is whether they support multilingual very well.
What do you
But
mean by multilingual?
the data can be two version
Oh,
by
it's a support
language,
versioning. I mean,
right?
open API, as in open API is not async API.
Yep.
You can do versioning.
Okay.
So, yeah. Try it out.
I need to
Because
try it out.
it's still up to you. But it's pretty much very easy to if you want to get started. It's very easy.
And don't
And
forget that for us, Malaysian, we had 3-day weekend holiday. Take your time to learn some of this thing. I
also,
recommend
like,
it.
I remember, like, a fast API. You know, the latest thing that
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
type in Python. You actually,
Yes.
I haven't tried it, but from the documentation, it says that it generates open API doc for you as well, because you have the time.
Everyone does that nowadays. Every
Yeah,
API,
right.
as long as you don't roll your own API, as long as you got an API centric framework, it does open API nowadays. It's a matter
So
of whether you generate later on, after or before. That's all. So let's move
okay,
on.
config cat,
What is
dynamic
that?
feature toggle.
Ooh.
So more feature toggle for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that
Oh,
should fine.
I have a new saying now because of something I see lah. If you got some button, those are toggles. You got 105 of them, those are keyboards.
Sure,
Yeah.
correct.
So don't add 105 toggles. Overly configurable things can kill you. But
Yeah.
you did configuration, but don't overdo it.
Always think about usability. Like, do not also like put in nested layers of toggle that will give
Yes,
you more toggles.
yes. As I say, few buttons is toggles, 105 of them, those are keyboards.
Right,
There, I
let's go to
say
the
it.
next one.
Yeah. I do
uh
packaging. Is this for packaging?
Git ports. Let's go to
Okay. Go on. Oh, it's like the latest product by. Is this the latest product by GitHub? Is this the same thing? You know, in GitHub you can run the
nope,
environment
it's
and
not this one. It's like IDE for Git repos, right?
ah
Which very much looks like VS Code to me as well on the UI.
yeah, yes,
Because also VS Code is open source, is nice. They offer this.
yes.
Check it out.
One of these
Interesting.
days, you can write your program on the tablet, and you don't even need to have your development environment on the tablet. You can
I'm
even do it
gonna
on
need
the
you
phone
to.
if you got.
I need to. I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna send you the link on DevKami. I need you to take over it for a while. I need to do something
Okay,
else. Yep.
okay.
Yep. I'm gonna be back.
Yeah, I have that with me. Let me switch my screen to you. La la la. Share screen. Select window. I don't have
Are
Windows.
you admin?
Yes, I'm admin.
Okay.
I'm admin. No, don't do that. Later. Let's see. Wait, give me a moment. I kind of lost it. Much better. Then StreamYard, select screen. No. Share later. StreamYard. Let me try this. Nope. Stop screen. Share again. Technology radar. Allow. Okay, so the next thing on my list is Gitpod Glue. What is Glue? Service Mesh and Kubernetes. So traditionally, when you set up service mesh, you need all sort of tools and all that. So this one, they actually what they promise is to make it easier for you to configure your own service mesh on Kubernetes. So yeah, I suppose if that's one of your thing, then the next one is Lens. So the thing that stopped me to use Kubernetes now is actually complexity, because it seems like a lot of work. Like, I already have Docker, why I want to use this, right? So yeah. Oh really? How about this? So let's see. What does this? Okay, so what this does is it provide. Let me open this up. This provide visibility on your Kubernetes thing. So it's an IDE for you to configure your Kubernetes clusters. So it helps. Remember, say it's not Kubernetes is complicated. You need tools for this, and more tools is awesome. If you want to actually build development tools, build a development environment, deployment environment, all that. So yeah, Lens is IDE for Kubernetes. It used to be this kind of thing I had to do by hand. So nowadays there are more and more tools for this, which make things very awesome. So let's go to the next one. The next one is Manifold. Okay, so here's the problem with machine learning models. You don't actually know. But a machine learning is a black box, right? Unless you use clustering, then you would have like cluster of one area and another area and all that. That's why it's called clustering. Those are awesome if you want to. So clustering algorithm is awesome. You want to know why certain things. So another one that's awesome is another thing that's awesome is actually decision trees. Decision tree are awesome because it's extremely predictable. Once you split it up properly, you generally know where it goes and you deploy it. As long as data didn't change, it's something that are very predictable, which is why it's used in the financial industry. Because when you see it, it generally makes sense that. So, for example, your health insurance is like people over 40, you have to pay higher premium. 20 is fine. And if you're certain, I strongly believe that if you're on a certain salary, you tend to be this and all that. So which is why your insurance agent asks you a lot of questions. Those are for decision tree. Then suddenly you have other models that is a bit less visible. So neural network is one of those things. Your random forest. So you actually need tools for you to actually understand how your data goes, what you predict and what not. So previously we talked about tools for you to actually predict, to actually have version of the models, and so they can revert it. This kind of tools will tell you why, because your machine learning model is like a dog. You do not know what the hell you're thinking. Or worse, it's either it could be your cat. You barely know what it's talking about. It's there, then does it work? Yeah, maybe, but why it works, nobody really knows. So tools like Manifold is awesome for this kind of reason. So visual debugging tools, how many level, all that. Yeah. I don't have data set here. Man, I wish they have the photo and all that. So yeah, debugging tools, plotting and all that. So the next one is CZ. What is CZ? Do they have? La, la, la. It's a browser for developer. Doesn't make sense for me, seriously. So what this does is it's actually it's a test tools. It's primarily a test tools for you to test your web application. Uh, so it's a browser, but you can have a lot of toggles to what can you test and whatnot. So it's imagine your whole browser. Apparently, to me, it's like your whole browser is your Chrome DevTools and more. So yeah, I think this is something I should look at actually. But this thing, how much is this? My goodness. What do you think about CZ? It's a tools to
CC,
this one.
CC,
Yeah.
CC, large number of devices. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I don't know how much it costs, but it's interesting because you can test across different devices and all that, and you can set up a lot of things.
I think there are a few services with that. So
Yeah,
good reminder.
interesting. Just to tell you how out of touch I am.
I'm
Okay,
very
so
out
let
of touch
me
as well.
let me go to the next one. Snowpad. JavaScript build tools. Okay, why we need this again? Why yet another build tools?
Oh, swimming like is about louder.
Yes,
So,
apparently.
yep. Or I need
So
to increase the
Snowpad.
gain.
Oh, okay.
So Snowpack is the new webpack. What is it?
Yes. Why?
Yeah, it's faster, I guess.
Yeah.
You would like I think it would be better if you zoom it in a bit
Okay.
on
Let me
the
see if I
document.
can.
Snowpack. It's a JavaScript build tools which looks like from the namesake it looks like a competitor to Webpack.
Yeah.
So but how because like Webpack is basically and it very much if you scroll down it very much looks like Webpack to me as well, like down there.
Yeah.
The
Right.
down. There's like templates. It looks very much
Oh,
like
okay.
that, yeah. So,
Yes.
but I'm not sure about the configuration. Do check it out,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and tell us. I'm not sure
Yes.
because configuring Webpack is not something we would like to do ourselves.
Yes. Uh, in fact, there's a reason why we stopped configuring our own makefile and all that.
Unfortunately, no browser today can import CSS from JavaScript. Using CSS module is not
Yes.
straightforward. Yeah, because Webpack allows you in a way it's a hack allowed by Webpack. So let's go next
Yes.
one. I guess TF
Yeah.
stack.
This for Terraform, not TensorFlow.
Yeah.
Just in case we're confused.
Static
It's a
analysis
static. Yep.
for
Of
Terraform.
templates. Interesting. If you use Terraform, I have a soft spot for this because if you can check for your security issue before you deploy and running your security, that would be awesome. Because we have that for in development tools, we actually occasionally run static code static code checker and all that to make sure everything works. We don't always use it because it's slow, but we have options to use it, right? So I think it's awesome for me because you have this for infrastructure. So anything you want to add?
Nope. We actually finished the radar for tools. So and this
Cool.
concludes our radar
Really?
analyst. I mean opinion piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I don't care about the top one.
Oh,
The
okay.
methodology.
Okay, okay. Right.
Sorry, it's I think the point of DevKami is that is to share our personal opinion of things.
Yes.
Yep.
And more importantly, you will see things like I'm a dinosaur when it comes to infrastructure. So you will notice that.
Interesting. I'll check it out.
Yes. So
Which one that
yeah,
is interesting for you for today's
uh,
2 sessions?
okay. So the practice, in, when it comes to in practice, what I would use, Cypress is always interesting for me. Cypress is interesting. Let me open up that browser. Platforms. No, man, I lost it. Okay, tools. Figma is interesting because at Kiasu, my friend using it. MKSet is of course interesting. Miro is something might be interesting for me simply because I'm crazy over collaboration tools and all the thing that run security on the cloud better because I tend to
Yep.
work in a financial
Agree.
services, so those guys are a bit afraid when it comes to cloud and all that. So this
Tools.
actually helped me to get, yeah. There's a reason why these guys, the traditional industry, afraid of the cloud because suddenly they lose control, right? So all the tools that around security on the cloud and checking security on the cloud, that's interesting to me actually.
So what? All I mean, the security one are interesting, and
Yep.
I think they don't. Most of these are just analysis tool which we can plug into our existing workflow pretty easily. So
Correct.
I guess why
Correct.
not? And it
Yes.
might make things even like more secure. I mean, more. I mean, it's just
Reliable.
yeah. Why not? It's just let it run. So
Yes.
yep, I need to definitely try out Cypress
Yep.
and
Superset.
Supersets definitely.
Yes.
I need to check out K9S as well, so to check whether it's suitable for setting up an environment for Kubernetes training. Then other we
Yeah.
have mini cubes and stuff, but they are not uh, convenient to use.
I need to update
Still,
myself stuff.
if you don't need it, don't use it.
Right. Yeah.
For engineers, my stuff I use container, but I use Docker Compose to orchestrate them instead of Of course, we just our server is just a 2-core server with very
Yes.
little RAM. So
Yes.
open policy, all this open policy agent looks interesting to me. Superset, of course, I'm gonna try it out. Um, Async API, I need to check it out. And the one that I miss, Glue, I want to check it out as well because service mesh are actually uh both some of them are very complicated or too overkill for things. I need to check it out just to understand what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with
Snowpack,
that,
I'm not gonna
anything?
use Snowpack until
The
I'm lazy. If I mean for production, we just use whatever nicely packaged framework out there.
yes.
So unless it's like let's say React switch over to it, I'm not gonna use that one. I
Yep.
can hear myself.
Oh. Oh,
uh,
I'm okay. Go on.
unless they pick it up, I'm not gonna switch manually.
Yeah.
Probably I'm gonna
You don't have
just
to.
for my own tool.
Huh?
Probably I don't know. I don't think I need a transpiler these days, like, unless I'm on TypeScript. But TypeScript has its
Yes.
own compiler anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's about it.
Here's our user opinion, lah. Just because it's in the, okay, just because it's on the technology, it's on the quarters, it's taught by big company or sound cool doesn't mean you have to use it.
Yeah.
Uh, so sometimes it is a good idea, but it's not always a good idea. It's your call.
Yeah. Hello,
So
Tristan. And something we have to
So
do
yeah,
later is we have to do a sound calibration. I think definitely, or a sound at least a volume normalizer for this thing, or else it's
yes,
gonna be really annoying for the listener. So it's definitely something that
yes,
we have to improve on.
yeah.
Off topic of this.
So yeah,
Uh,
with that said, I think that's about it for me now.
yeah, that's about it for me. Then next week we're gonna go back to interviews, or
Yes,
we're gonna try something else, which I
we need to
haven't.
find someone to interview.
Yeah, yeah. Jung
Mm,
can come back here again to talk about his JavaScript project
yes,
and his journey with D3.
yes.
Yep, I guess
With
that's about it.
that, I
Right?
think yeah, we can go by already, right?
Yeah, we go bye. Bye. Good night. Have a good week ahead.
Bye. Yeah, you got 3 days weekend. Don't waste it.
Yeah, assuming that you have holidays.
Yes, there's 3 day weekend: Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Oh yeah, bye bye.
Bye. Yeah,
Bye,
chasing
everyone.
yourself.